The skies over Kahndaq were heavy with thunder, but it was not the natural kind. Black Adam floated above the city he had ruled for centuries, arms crossed, eyes scanning the horizon as a whisper traveled through the winds, an intrusion unlike any other. The people below, accustomed to seeing their protector as an untouchable god, felt a new kind of fear, as if the air itself was holding its breath. In the distance, a golden light burned through the clouds, approaching not with the noise of warships or the thunder of storms, but with the silent inevitability of a rising sun. The figure emerged, Robert Reynolds, the Sentry. He did not arrive in anger nor in haste. He simply existed, bending reality around him with the weight of his power. Black Adam's gaze hardened, recognizing not just strength but an unknown variable, something he did not trust. "You come uninvited," Adam said, voice cutting through the distance. Sentry hovered before him, his voice calm but carrying an undercurrent of warning. "I come because there is no longer a choice. You've crossed lines, Adam. You've imposed your order upon the world by crushing its will. That is not justice, it is control." Adam's smirk was cold. "Control is the only justice that works. I have seen centuries of chaos, of leaders begging for morality while their people suffer. I have ended that. Kahndaq thrives. No thief steals, no warlord rises, no child starves. Tell me, Golden One, what good is your so-called freedom when it breeds nothing but suffering?" Sentry's expression was unreadable, yet his eyes burned brighter. "Freedom is not perfect, but control is a prison, even if it's gilded. I've been where you are. I've tried to hold the world in my hands, thinking I could protect it from itself. All it bred was dependency, fear, and in time, rebellion. The world must choose its own path, even if that path leads through pain." Adam's eyes narrowed. "The weak are not meant to choose. They are meant to be guided. A shepherd does not ask the sheep where they wish to wander." The air between them vibrated, the tension in their words growing heavier. "And a shepherd who believes the flock cannot live without him," Sentry replied, "is not protecting them. He is feeding on their fear. The truth is, Adam, you do not protect them because they cannot survive without you. You protect them because you cannot survive without being their god." That cut deeper than Adam would admit, for there was truth in it. In his long life, he had been a slave, a liberator, a conqueror, and a king. The role of savior had become his identity. To lose it would be to lose himself. But pride masked the wound. "Spare me your sermon, stranger. You think yourself beyond me. You are just another being drunk on power." Sentry's gaze softened, but his tone turned darker. "Power is not the issue. It's what you become when you cannot imagine the world without your rule. I have the power to end you, Adam, but I don't want to. I want to remind you there is a difference between being strong and being right." Adam floated closer, lightning crawling across his fists. "And I will remind you, being right means nothing if you are too weak to enforce it." The clouds swirled faster, the golden light of Sentry clashing with the black storm of Adam's aura. Around them, the world seemed to lean in, as if the very fabric of reality knew the weight of the confrontation. This was no mere contest of strength. It was a war of philosophies, freedom versus control, mercy versus judgment, the acceptance of imperfection versus the imposition of enforced order. Sentry understood the danger Adam posed, not just in his might, but in the seductive nature of his vision. To a suffering world, Adam's rule seemed a blessing, but Sentry had lived long enough and seen far enough to know that absolute power, even when well-intentioned, always corrupted. Adam, on the other hand, saw Sentry's hesitance as weakness, the Golden Man's reluctance to strike first, his endless weighing of morality, was proof enough in Adam's eyes that his way was the only effective way. Lightning cracked the sky, the sun dimmed. Two beings of near limitless power hovered in the heart of an oncoming storm, each certain that they were the one standing on the side of truth. And yet beneath the conviction, there was the quiet knowledge that only one of them would still be standing when the storm cleared. The battle was no longer avoidable. It had already begun in their words, and the next step would be taken in violence. The first strike came without warning. Black Adam surged forward, the word Shazam tearing from his lips, calling down divine lightning that split the clouds in half. The bolt struck Sentry with a detonation that shattered windows across Kahndaq. But the Golden Guardian stood unmoved, light shimmering around him as the energy was absorbed into his aura. Adam didn't slow. His fists became a blur, blows laced with the power of ancient gods, each strike a hammer meant to break the will of his opponent. Sentry's body absorbed the punishment, his eyes never leaving Adam's. Then, with a speed that bent the air, Sentry countered, one punch, but one that sent Adam tumbling through the upper atmosphere, burning through the thin air as he steadied himself. Adam returned in a blur, their fists colliding with such force that the ground below quaked. They clashed in the air, the sky erupting with golden flares and black storms. Adam's attacks were relentless, a stream of divine might and tactical precision, each blow meant to kill. Sentry took them all, his expression calm, his counters measured but increasingly devastating. With a flicker of thought, he manipulated the molecules of the lightning Adam hurled at him, dispersing it harmlessly. When Adam tried to crush him with raw strength, Sentry's regeneration made the damage meaningless. Minutes turned into an eternity of violence. The city below shook with every impact, the citizens watching the storm of gods overhead with awe and terror. Adam's speed was legendary, but Sentry matched it, sometimes surpassing it, moving so fast that Adam was left striking after images. Adam roared, channeling every god within him, unleashing a lightning strike so vast it turned the horizon white. Sentry let it hit him full force, and then without a word he reached out, not with fists, but with his will, rearranging the very molecular structure of Adam's energy flow. Adam felt it instantly, his connection to the gods faltering, his divine power flickering. "You rely on them for everything," Sentry said, his voice carrying even in the chaos. "But I am not fighting them, I am fighting you, and without them, what are you?" Adam's rage became desperation. He attacked with feral brutality, but Sentry was no longer holding back. Each blow from the Golden Man now carried the weight of a star's heart, each strike bending the sky. Adam's body broke and healed and broke again under the onslaught, his endurance beginning to waver. "Strength without understanding is just destruction," Sentry said between strikes. "Control without humility is just tyranny." Adam's final scream was swallowed by the light as Sentry unleashed the full radiance of his power, the energy of a million exploding suns. The force engulfed Adam, stripping the last threads of his divine connection and hurling him to the earth with a crater-making impact. When the dust cleared, Adam lay beaten, his body mortal once more, his eyes filled with disbelief. Sentry landed beside him, looking down not with triumph but with quiet resolve. "You could have been the world's greatest protector," he said softly, "but you chose to be its cage." Adam said nothing. His pride would not allow him to beg, but the truth burned deeper than any wound. Sentry turned away, rising back into the sky, his golden light fading into the clouds. The storm broke, sunlight returning to Kahndaq. The people looked up, uncertain whether they had been saved or warned. The battle was over. The philosophy had been decided.